Hi, I'm Super Sue Finneron, and this is Get Your Shit Together. Of course, SHIT is an acronym for Success, Health, Inspiration, and Transformation. And today I have sitting next to me someone who actually, well, I think all four of those qualities pertain to her. Today I have with me Jasmin Badrin, and Jasmin is actually a fabulous bookkeeper in the city of Courtenay, and recently I met her at the Voice of Choice, and she was one of our voice ambassadors, and she was there to tell her story about MS. Welcome, Jasmin.
Thank you, Sue. I appreciate you having me here.
So now, how long ago were you diagnosed with MS?
So it was 2014.
Yeah.
And I was my first diagnosis because I had lost my vision. That's how they had come to the point.
Yeah, you were driving when that happened, right?
Yes, driving to work, and then realized when I was stopped to go turn that I had no vision to the whole left of my side.
So like somebody had put an eye patch.
Yeah, it was kind of like that, but a little bit straight and then fully to the left. So then I just kind of panicked and then realized I could still see, so I just kept making right turns till I got to work. And then as soon as I got to work, told everybody there, we then started calling doctors and setting up all kinds of appointments.
Yeah.
And dealing with what we had to what next.
And how long did it take for them from that day to diagnose MS?
Weeks.
Yeah, it's a long time.
It's a long time. So that day, my eye doctor got back to me and he said, okay, come see me, but it was after hours. And then all of a sudden a gentleman came in wearing jogging pants and like a sweatshirt, and I was just thinking, who is this person? And then I didn't at all understand what he was saying because I wasn't listening, so I'm thinking, who is this person? Why would he come see me? Turns out he's an eye surgeon. So because my eye doctor had also been diagnosed with MS, he kind of saw these things happening and was thinking he knew what was going on, which is what prompted him to call this other surgeon.
Wow, great eye doctor.
He is a wonderful eye doctor.
Yeah.
It's quite extraordinary that happened to be one of my first phone calls and he got me in so quickly. But I also went to like the regular doctor, my GP, the walk-in clinic, like anyone who was willing to see me, I was going to go see.
Oh, good for you. I always remember when I was diagnosed with arthritis, I was going to the University of Victoria at the time, and so I went to their clinic and they said, okay, well, we've got your blood test results back. If all the diseases in the world are these four walls, we've nailed it down to this wall. And you're like, what? That's not good enough. That's not a good enough response. And then when they finally tell you, it's like, again, it's bizarre, isn't it?
Well, because it couldn't be concrete, because this was only the first episode that was actually tracked. So had I had minor episodes before, obviously not big enough for me to think, oh my goodness, what's happening? So this is just apparently number one. And that's where we just kind of go from there. So you go on about your life, because that's the problem with MS. Someone with a headache and feeling dizzy could have MS.
And not know it. And they just think, they kind of think it's
just,
nothing.
I'm tired, or it's fatigue, or, it's stress, or anything like that. But it could actually be something that could be debilitating, which for me at points in time in my life was.
Now, when you got diagnosed, you had an option, obviously, to take traditional meds. Mm-hmm. And you chose not to. Same sort of thing that I did, and that's what fascinated me about your story, was that you chose to not go traditional medication route. Why?
Well, because there was no concrete evidence. It was saying, okay, this is what we think you have, so here's a treatment way we can start. But once I really thought about that, I'm thinking, what are other things in my life that I could change that may be better for myself than just jumping onto the meds?
And so what did you do?
So all I did, and all I've done since then, which has now been, 5 years, is eat whole foods as much as possible. I mean, I know,
nobody's
exactly. I'm definitely not perfect with it. And working out, exercising.
And now you've lost a ton of weight, haven't you?
Yes, I've literally half the size that I used to be, which is awesome for myself, and for my health, for your self-esteem, everything. So many benefits there. And then really it's been actually what's kept me quite balanced. When you lose your vision, you really everyone takes their vision for granted.
Yeah.
Until you lose it, you really have no idea.
I can't imagine.
And so every single day since this time, I'm so grateful. I'm grateful for the stupidest little things, and I'm grateful for the big things in life, but it will be just sometimes just walking by and it's sunny out, or it's just nice out, or just who I get to see and say hi to, it's amazing how much more colorful that is and how much more feelings are attached to that when you have something happen like losing your vision and then being told you have a disease.
Yeah.
You just start to love life so much more.
Now, you also had one other really amazing thing happen because you chose to get fit rather than go on medication, right?
Yeah, so through all of this testing and everything, especially when it came back to my GP, that it was also because of my obesity and where my health was at, I was told that I could never have children. And as a woman, let me tell you, that breaks you. So we're built to have children, and so when you're told that you cannot, then it really shakes your world. Also, too, I was with someone who I was getting married to, and there was like all this thing, you think, how am I going to be fulfilling? Well, we wanted to have children. That would be the one major thing that would do that. So the problem is I wasn't able to, and then they said if I did, that it would be ridden with probably disease and diabetes, and it'd be
that your pregnancy
that
would
my
be?
child I
That
would
your
probably my
child
child would probably have this.
Wow.
So they frightened me from even wanting.
Yeah.
And then I figured, okay, so that was just more of a motivation to stick with the healthy eating and going to the gym.
That's so great.
Yeah.
So you have a daughter who is now 2.
Yes, she's 2 years old.
And so because you chose to get fit for other health reasons, you probably got the best gift of all, I would think, out of that.
Most
right?
definitely.
And you can see her.
Yes, I can see her, and I had a healthy child. I know. It's quite remarkable when I kind of think about it, because now I've just kind of gotten used to living this way. So I'm very, very in tune with my body. I know when things are feeling a little off. I know when I need to maybe put more attention into, okay, make sure I'm eating a lot cleaner and, you know, just doing more things. But it's amazing how remarkable my life has become since this diagnosis. I mean, some people think that being diagnosed with a disease is the worst thing in the world. For me, I don't even so much believe that I have MS, but I think it was a wake-up call for my body saying, you need to do something or else you're going to have a really bad life and probably put yourself in an early grave. So I just had to get up and start doing it.
So how long did it take for you to make physical fitness a habit?
There was a gym in town, and they put out a call for people to write a letter about yourself, why you should win a year-long fitness challenge with them. And I figured, why not? So I did, and I won.
Well, no doubt you have a pretty good story.
And so I go there, and so it started right away, because the thing was I was having trainers working with me, and there was like
So you were committed
a family
because you
there,
had a trainer.
yeah, and it was, I won this out of other people in our community, so then I had that accountability. You know, I couldn't just waste it, and I could easily buy a gym pass and just not end up going. But no, this was something that other people could have had my position, so I really had to feel like I earned it, and I had to keep with it and, you know, do them good, which is so
Yeah.
funny. It's like, I want to...
But they must have loved that too, because obviously they want to award it to somebody that wants to be.
Well,
there,
yeah,
right?
it was just everything aligned in the perfect time. Within the first 5 minutes of the warm-up, I was keeled over. I could not breathe. And people were coming up to me, random people that I did not know, to come tell me that we all start somewhere. Like, I'm that bad, I know. Where I was, and I worked desk jobs. And so it just, the weight just kept coming on and on. I wasn't moving.
Yeah.
You know, so that was where it was so bad. So then all of a sudden to have this huge shift, and they don't just move, they're like jumping and running. And so my body was like, what? But it slowly got used to it, and then it started to lose the weight. And I started to really feel how good that felt. Better I feel, actually, the more inches I lose, or the more weight I'll lose, or, you know, so the better my clothes will fit.
Yeah.
So now my judgment is based on how I feel.
Well, and that's great too, because weight, did you know that I learned this the other day? 4 pounds of muscle takes up as much space as 1 pound of fat. So really, if you're gaining weight, but your clothes fit better, it's a great thing.
It is a great thing. And I experienced that because I was gaining weight.
Yeah.
But getting smaller. And it was because I was getting so much stronger.
Yeah. Any particular foods that you've cut out of your diet?
I mean, I wish I could say I had some kind of food allergies. I can eat absolutely anything, and I love it, which is hence
Yeah.
the weight, but nothing really that I cut out. If anything, I try to cut out things that were really bad for me, like deep fried things. I was never big with sugar or chocolate.
Lucky you.
I love salty things. So that could be just as bad. But I'm not like a chocolate fiend. I'm not like that. But really, it's just trying everything in moderation.
Yes, that's a very good point, isn't it?
So then that way you can enjoy it. Now, there's certain times like I've kind of like fallen off that bandwagon, and I will eat like a bag of chips or some ice cream or whatever. And what I've learned with that is enjoy it while you do it, and then don't beat yourself up for it.
Yeah.
And then get back to doing what you're doing.
Very good advice. We also talked about, before we started filming, the effect that stress has on disease and on your body. Do you notice a huge difference in how you feel when you're not stressed?
Well, that's what we realized, actually, because I've only technically I've lost my vision, so that's one episode.
Now, it's come back, yes?
Yeah, it came back within a couple of months. It was fully back. And then about a year later, I had lost my hearing. It was before I was pregnant, actually, when I lost my hearing. And that came back while I was pregnant. And those are the only 2 episodes that they've actually traced. So it's really interesting that now when I think back of the timing of those episodes, there was actually a lot of stress in my life. So, and then when I noticed things are kind of getting better, there's not so much stress in my life. So, I mean, everybody has stress.
Yes,
but there's certain things that are really like over the top, almost unmanageable type of stress.
And unfortunately, everybody is going to have those types of stresses in life.
Yeah.
It's pretty much unavoidable to not at some point in life go through a stressful time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what we realized too. And like the most recent episode that I think I was starting to have, I all of a sudden right away shed everything from my life that I felt that was causing that stress. And literally within a week, things were happening the opposite. And so one thing is I lose my balance. So in my car, I'm the safest because all these alarms go off if I go anywhere near the line. And if I don't stop, my car stops.
Perfect.
I can't even hit you if I tried. Walking, I almost took out a lady in the mall because I'm quite a fast walker, and I was just going, and I just don't see myself swerving.
Starting to go,
and then I almost took her out with my shoulder, and I was just like, okay. So that was when I realized, okay, I need to be more intentional with my steps and realize. And so now when I go to like stores, usually there's tiles on the floor.
Oh, and so you follow the line.
I follow the line. Or I'll wait. Sometimes it's like a different color, like outside, and I'll just stay there and follow that color line. And then that keeps me straighter. So then other people are safer.
So that's very considerate of you.
Thank you.
Other than the balance issue, do you notice anything else at this point in time? And
yeah, tingling.
Tingling, yeah.
So if I have tingling in parts of my body, these are 2 humongous symptoms. If I'm having these, I go to my doctor, I get scheduled right away for MRIs, and we go through the whole gambit again.
Yeah.
And then they'll go through the thing where you need treatment and all this stuff. But we'll see. My MRI is coming up. We'll see what the doctors have to say, because then they're going to send me to another specialist again to talk about it, and we'll see. So really, it's just live your life and take it as it comes.
Now, I always would end up in a fight with my rheumatologist. Do you get in kind of fights with your doctors about your choice in not taking medication?
Well, because I'm so preemptive, and I go in there with this whole argument, and I kind of, with this is the reasons why, and these are the beneficial reasons why. So it really makes it hard for them to argue with me, because the thing is, like, I came back to them before and I said, all I've done this whole time is eat real food and work out, and yet you're telling me that my symptoms are great, they're like staying away, and yet I've not taken any treatment, and they can't say that what I'm saying is wrong.
Yeah.
They can't fight me on that.
Well, and exercise is usually the number one prescribed, exercise and diet is the number one prescribed thing with any disease that I've noticed.
Yeah, and so that's where they don't tend to fight me too much, because I've always got a good point.
I always remember one time I went to my rheumatologist, and he had a young med student with him, and he said, yeah, she's not normal. I took it as a compliment.
I would too, actually. Like, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, no, it's funny because there's just no point for me right now. I think it's unnecessary. If I got to a point where I'm thinking it's so debilitating or something's happening, because the thing is, now I have my daughter to think about.
Yeah.
So as soon as things got stressful and I was having these symptoms, shed everything, was like, okay, what's happening? Things are getting better, and I'm able to kind of keep going because I have to make sure I can take care of her.
Yeah.
Right. So that's where. But if I ever get to a point, then I will, then I will look at different avenues. But for right now, no, I don't need that stuff.
Have they said to you, if you don't start taking medication right away, this could, or like it could get worse in that sense? Or
I mean, that was what when I first had this happen, that was kind of their stance.
Yeah.
Was, okay, no, it's going to start progressing now. And if you don't do something to be preemptive about it, it's going to get too late, and you don't know what. Because I could lose the ability to lift my arm, or my vision. It could be absolutely anything. There's no guessing.
Yeah, there's a bunch of things that can happen.
Anything. Yeah. So they're like, well, that's the thing. All these things could just start happening, and I'm like, so you're giving me a problem that hasn't happened yet that may happen in the future, and they're like, yeah. I'm like, okay. Thanks. I try to live in the present moment as much as possible. So that's where I'm thinking I'm not going to put my headspace into what's going to happen to me, that negativity, that way, because the only way I'm going to think is positively. And I'm going to think how great I'm going to be, how fit I'm going to be, how healthy I'm going to be. And I'm not going to have a pity party because I have MS. I'm going to be freaking awesome because I have MS. And I will prove that you do not need treatment.
I love it. Jasmin, you are totally an inspiration, and I know you've had a total transformation in your life. And I wish you the best success and the best for everything. And I hope that this MS stays at bay for a very, very long time.
Thank you.
So thanks for being here. All right, if you like what you saw today, don't forget to subscribe and click the bell so you get notified when there's a new episode that comes out. I will link Jasmin's business information in behind, so you never know if you're looking for a bookkeeper. She's fabulous, and she has the best business cards ever.
I do.
She does. Thanks, Adil. Thanks for watching Get Your Shit Together, and we'll see you again next time.